Hey, welcome back to Mama Physics! In this video, we are going to continue with solving equations using what we call peeling of the onion strategy. So I have 4 examples here that I'm going to go over with us. Again, it's going to be I do one, you do one, I do one, you do one, okay? So let's start with example 5. Ooh, it's starting to look trickier, hey? Now, you might think that, oh, hey, look, I have 2 in front of brackets and all that stuff. Do I do distributive property and distribute the 2 inside the bracket and then I solve the rest? You could, but there's is an easier way that you can do this. Now keep in mind that whenever I have a 2 and I have a bracket in front, that's equivalent to me taking 2 multiplied by everything inside of my bracket. So if that were the case, why won't I do that first? You might be thinking, but wait a minute, Miss Lee, I thought we were supposed to peel the onion. But we are kind of peeling the onion. The 2 is on the outside. It's outside of the terms that are inside that contain your variable. So you are kind of peeling the onion because the 2 is on the outside. It's outside the brackets. It's even in there visually for you to see. Okay, so let's do it. Let's peel the onion. Okay, I got 2 here. I'm going to divide both sides by 2. And, be careful. I'm going to divide the whole side of my equation by 2. And when I do that, I like to draw a line over the entire side of my equation. And that's going to include all the terms, everything, whatever that is. And then I put the 2 on the bottom like that. Okay, same thing, I'm going to do it for this other side of the equation. I put my line over the 1 and I put it all over 2. So this gets rid of the 2 coefficient in front of that big bracket. I am now left with m plus 4 is equal to 1 over 2. That's just 1/2. Okay, now what? Well, now it's just like, well, essentially the first lesson, or even in this lesson, we still have to peel the onion by getting rid of this 4 over here. I'm going to do that by subtracting both sides of my equation by 4. And imagine there are some brackets. Yeah, this 4 goes away. I get m is equal to 1/2 minus 4, or this is negative 3.5. We can put in a calculator. You can actually try to work it out. You can have it in fraction form. Okay, let's say you had it in fraction form. All right, for those of you who like your fractions, then this would be equivalent to negative 3 and 1/2 as a mixed fraction, or it can be negative 7 over 2, like that. Okay, these are all possible solutions. I would take on a quiz if this was a question. Okay, now time for you to try example 6. Good time to pause the video. All right, let's try. Let me do example 6 for your solutions. And hey, I didn't really change the question too much, hopefully, but essentially here, hey, look, you gotta divide both sides by 2. Remember, we gotta peel the onion, get rid of the outside of the brackets, which is a 2, divide both sides by 2. Oh, wait, what happens here? This is really weird. How do I do this part where I have a fraction already? The easiest way you can do this is just to put this all in brackets and write this division sign like that. I think that might be closer to what you've been doing before. I like to do this because if you think about it, 2 over 7 is already a fraction. It's already division, 2 divided by 7. If I divide the whole thing by 2 again, it's like me putting the 2 on the bottom of my fraction just like that. Beside the 7 as imagining I'm kind of 7 multiplied by 2 and they're all on the bottom of the fraction. If you don't believe me, let's work this out, okay? First of all, this 2 here cancels. I'm left with 8 minus m on this side of the equation. On the other side, I get 2 over 7 divided by 2. We learned before that multiplying by a number is like, dividing by a number is like multiplying by the reciprocal. What does that mean? I can put 2 over 1, and then there I have a fraction looking thing. Then I have 2 over 7, I can, instead of dividing, I can multiply instead by the inverse of 2. What is that? I flip my fraction over. I get 1 over 2 just like that. Okay, so let's actually rewrite it and solve it together. This is 8 minus m is equal to 2 times, and multiplying fractions, top times top. 2 times 1 is 2, bottom times bottom, 7 times 2 gives us 14. Wait a minute. Isn't this over here? Right here. 2 over 7 times 1 over 2. Isn't this really pretty much what I just told you here? Which is 2 on the top, and then 7, and in brackets 2 on the bottom, which is just 14. And hey, you might be thinking that, wait a minute, there's 2 on top and 2 on the bottom. Can I just cancel it out like that? Yes, you do. You can, which gives you 1 over 7. And you're right. I could have just canceled the 2 out like that when I was multiplying the fraction, giving me 1 over 7. 2 over 14 is exactly 1 over 7 if I divide top and bottom by 2 anyways. So let's just write that out. 1 over 7. Okay. So I showed you the way you're used to, and you can keep in mind of this new way in the future. Okay. All right, let's continue this. Now, notice that we have minus m. Okay, we have minus m equals to 1 over 7. You know what? I'm just going to do it one way. I'm just going to choose a way and just go with it. Which is, just to be accommodating for everyone, I'm just going to do it the way where I move the m to the other side so it becomes a positive. If you don't like my way and you're very confident with the other way, go with it. Sure, why not? But I'm gonna do it this way where I move my variable to the other side so that it becomes positive. It's nicer to deal with a positive variable, right? So then I get 8 is equal to 1 over 7 plus m. Next up, I am going to need to move my fraction to the other side to get m alone. So I need to subtract 1 over 7 on both sides of the equation. Okay, that gets rid of that. Okay, I need a little bit more space here. So I am left with 8 minus 1 over 7 equals to m. What is 8 minus 1 over 7? That is going to be 7. Okay, because we are subtracting a fraction, we're probably going to have 1 less. And minus 1 over 7 is going to give us 6 over 7 equals to m. If you don't believe me, you can check your calculator. At this point, you should be very good with adding, subtracting rational numbers, okay? So you can leave it as a mixed fraction, or this would be 49 plus 6, 55 over 7. Or if you did it as a decimal, it would be 7.857. 7.857 and I'll take that answer as well. Okay, those are our possible solutions. Okay, sorry about that, took a while. Next up we have example 7, and I'll do this one, you do 8. Okay, hey, look, we have a fraction instead. That's okay, we can deal with a fraction. Now here's what there's a couple ways you can think about doing it, but I'm gonna do it the one step at a time. If you wanted just to kind of get rid of this whole fraction by dividing both sides of the equation by the fraction, you could. That's one way you can do it. If you want to try it out, you can go pause in the video and just try it yourself. But here, I'll do it one step at a time. First of all, we want to get rid of fractions. We don't like denominators. It's not going to help us. So I'm going to try to get rid of this 5. To get rid of this 5, I'm going to need to multiply both sides of the equation by 5. So let's do that. Multiply by 5, and that's the whole equation here. Same thing, going to multiply this by 5. This 5 multiplies this. That's going to get rid of this 5. So I'm going to be left with 2m plus 4 equals to 5. Hey, that's starting to look like what we had before now. So let's now, to get rid of the 2, by peeling the onion, we've got to divide both sides of the equation by 2. And it gets rid of that one. I have now m plus 4. Notice my brackets, I don't need them anymore, giving me 5 over 2. You might be thinking, yeah, see, Miss Lee, I told you. You could have just divided both sides of the equation by 2 over 5. 1 divided by 2 over 5 gives you 5 over 2. Yeah, you're right. Okay, shortcut. We love shortcuts. Let's get back to this. Isolating for m, getting rid of all the other terms, we got to get rid of this 4, this constant, by subtracting 4 on both sides of the equation. We now get m is equal to 5 over 2 minus 4. So what is that equal to? Well, you could put in your calculator if you really want to, but 5 over 2 is essentially 2 and a half. And if I'm going to subtract 4, that's essentially minus negative 1 and 1/2. Okay, don't believe me? Put in your calculator and double check. You could either leave it here as a mixed number, or you could leave it as a improper fraction, which is just negative 3 over 2, or if you like decimal, negative 1 and a half, just like that. Okay, so there you go. That's example 7. Example 8, good time to pause the video for you to try. Okay, now it's my turn. Okay, look, we got the same situation here, but we got a little bit of some more fractions here. Let me zoom in. Okay, so now we have, we still need to isolate for m, but we need to kind of get rid of all the other stuff on the outside, right? Again, I'm going to need to multiply both sides by 14 to get rid of this denominator here, which is really annoying. Multiply this part by 14 as well. 14 gets rid of 14, I get 5, and in brackets 8 minus m, and this is equal to 2 over 7 multiplied by 14. Oh, that's cool. Guess what? Instead of multiplying by 14, I have 7 on the bottom of my fraction. I can just get rid of this 7 and then factor out the 7 out of this 14, giving me a 2 instead. So now I have 2 times 2 over here, which is just 4. Okay, 2 times 2 is just 4. Okay, all right. Now what we're going to do is we need to still keep going with the peeling the onion, dividing both sides of the equation by 5 now. Getting rid of the 5, I get 8 minus m is equal to 4 over 5. We're almost there. I'm going to do it. Remember I said I'm just going to keep moving the variable until it becomes positive. You could just leave it there and just be careful to keep the negative sign and flip all the signs in the end. But here, let me move it over. I'm going to add m on this side, add m on the other side. I get rid of my m and I get 8 is equal to 4 over 5 plus m. Okay, m is now positive. Now I'm going to move my fraction to the other side to isolate for my m. So I'm going to minus 4 over 5 over here, do the same thing on the other side of the equation. Okay, so that gets rid of the 4 over 5. I am now left with m is equal to 8 minus 4 over 5. Okay, what is that equal to? I'm going to swap m to the other side of the equation. So I'm kind of flipping it around so that it reads better for us. Okay, so I get m is equal to, what is 8 minus 4 over 5? That's definitely going to give us 7. And what's remaining is 1 over 5, just like that. Okay, now if you want it as an improper fraction, you could have it as 36 over 5. Or as a decimal, what's it a decimal? Oh yes, decimal will be 7.2. Okay, that works as well. I will accept all of those answers. It's algebra. The main concern shouldn't be the form of your answer. It should be all your steps anyways. Okay, great job guys. Thank you for making through this video. Doing an awesome job. If you stick around, there's one more video and more practice for you. Good luck. Fat Mama Physics, signing out.